Hello, Jasen Rice here at Lotpop, and kind of like the title I was talking about. I get a little bit of a build up here of attendees. Now, I was just this weekend put our house up in the market, and we figured we probably wouldn't have a hard time selling the house, but did a few things. Obviously, I flat priced our house so we can get, and what I mean by that, put it at an even number. Just like on cars, I encourage dealers to do flat pricing on their cars, price it at 20 grand, so you can get the 20 and higher shopper and a 20 lower end shopper. So we did that kind of strategy on our house. And now our house is a little bit unique, meaning it's in 2 acres, but it also is like in a little private street. There's 42 total acres, 7 houses, nothing, everything around it is suburbia. I mean, nothing but neighborhoods built around it. And so if anybody in our market wanted to get some property, they'd have, I mean, it's very hard to come by. So I bring this up because we bought this house. It was older, a little bit smaller than our previous house, but we loved the land. And I've done a lot of work to it, a lot of work into just, updating some flooring, new ceiling fans, to painting, to redoing the shop for my office back when Lotpop was ran out of there, to building a tree house with a zip line, all this stuff. And what I was having a hard time with is, we hired a realtor, which they done a phenomenal job. They do great. I'm not bashing realtors here. But that whole industry started making me think. I'm like, because what happens, when you sell a house, you have people, if they're interested, they set up a private showing, and the buyers, the potential buyers, show up with their real estate agent, and they go through your house. And at that time, your agent's not there. And I bring this up because my last 2 houses I sold myself, and this house I was tempted to, but I just didn't want to deal with the headaches. But the agent, my agent, who knows my house, at least as much as I told him, and all the work that we've done to it, is not there to sell the house. The potential buyers will come into the house with their agent, nobody else there, and they just walk around. And there's nobody there to tell them, oh, we just updated this and we've done that, and that neighbor is good, and that neighbor, is not moving, and they have great kids over here, and we've updated that, and the school's here, and the this and the that's. And you don't have somebody there to help sell that house. And I'm like, well, what do you need an agent for if they're not there to sell the house? If everybody, I know the agents are there to list it on the MLS and get exposure, but I'm like, man, there's nobody better to sell this house than myself, because I know the story, and I know things behind it, and I know what I've done to it, and I know what we like and don't like, and things like that. And I can answer customers' questions or the shoppers' questions. And so I was sitting there going, man, it would make more sense on real estate if the agent was there for every private showing to meet with the other agent and the potential buyers, so they can at least tell our story as best as they can. And that got me to thinking about the car business. I'll wrap it into the car business, kind of go back and forth here. Is, when it comes to selling cars, the salesmen are so important. That's where trades are so much easier to sell. There's a story behind it. And as a salesperson, if you don't know your inventory, the story behind it, it's like you're like that other agent that's just showing up with a potential buyer, not knowing much about the house other than what the agent might have told, our agent might have told them a little bit over the phone. And if that potential buyer isn't pushing questions to us to answer them, there's, they'll just go through the house and think everything looks nice and neat, and then leave not excited about some of the things that were done to that house. Same thing with cars. If you as a salespeople don't know that inventory, don't know the backstory, especially a trade, if it was a local trade that was serviced there, has service history, they upgraded this or they've done that. And I mean, that's what really, to me, sells the vehicle, sells the house. And it just confused me. I was having a hard time justifying having an agent when we have private showings, because no one's there to tell the story. Yeah, we've got the little pass outs, and hopefully they notice the new carpet, or the new shiplap or the barnwood and how it was added and where it was, those type of things. But there's really no story behind it when somebody shows up as your agent. And that brings me to thinking about these places like the Carvanas that is trying to threaten the industry, and how people are buying cars. Carvana doesn't have the salespeople, and that's what customers think they want. But again, you don't get the backstory in that car and all the neat features and the safety features and the upgrades and the things that the last owner did to it. There's nothing tangible there to get somebody excited about that car and why they might want to buy it. And so to me, think about that as if you're a salesman at a dealership or a sales manager at a dealership and talking about that used car inventory, even new, but used, there's more stories behind it. And you really need to entrench yourself like our agent did to our house. She knew our story. She knew how my 11-year-old and 3-year-old loved the tree house, and they loved the neighbor, and basically, call her grandma because she's over there at the neighbor's house. My kids go over there a lot because they get grandkids and bake pies with them and work in their garden and everything. Those little stories, I think, help a potential buyer because they see how sweet that is, and they don't have to worry about moving into a neighborhood with a bad neighbor. But as a salesman, you need to know those stories on those cars, be able to overcome objections, be able to overcome customers' concerns when they ask about safety features or when's the last time the tire's been changed or the brakes or does it have this or does it have that? How the last owner treat that vehicle? You should know these cars like the back of your hand. One, the managers, and you'd be surprised how many times we go through inventory meetings and a lot of managers don't know those cars. But two, as salespeople, you need to know those cars inside and out, especially if you trade it for them. You need to ask these customers, as they're trading in their cars, give them the backstory. That's right, William, words tell, but stories sell, have that story behind these cars. Even if it's a rental rocket, there's ways to maybe even up that, the fact that it has, 10,000 miles and it was a rental car, but usually if you're going to run into problems on a vehicle, it's going to be within the first 10,000 miles. So those renters had the ability to work out any of the kinks, just something to help sell that car and the story behind it and not run from it or not know it. And confidence is what sells people too. When they can ask you a question, you can confidently answer their questions back and forth. And again, that's what I struggled for this week. And now we sold the house, and my real estate agents are great, and I love them. And they become almost like a part of the family. They get to know our kids and everything. But it really started when I sold my last 2 houses, and I couldn't be there at the open house and talk to these people and get them excited about as excited about the house as I am. I just struggled with that, because I'm hoping that our agent did that. But then we also had some private sellings, and the agent's not there. I just don't understand that concept. I would think your agent should be there for every time somebody's walking in that door. But anyways, that's what I struggled with this week. And it was a whirlwind of a week, and my wife had a birthday on Sunday, and we did sell the house on Sunday, but it was a blessed weekend. But again, as I was thinking that through and the agent and the selling real estate, it really made me understand the importance of salespeople knowing their inventory so they could tell that story to the next buyer, get them excited about it. So I hope this was helpful, a little bit different. I did talk about inventory, but again, it's so important. Know those new cars too, the features and benefits, incentives and lease specials and the hot buttons on that make that car stand out against its competitors. So know your car so you can sell them and sell the story and have confidence to be able to answer those customers' questions or concerns. If you like this, go to YouTube and check out Lotpop Inc. There's a channel, 150 tips. All these tips will go on to SoundCloud, which ultimately ends up in podcasts. So you can find it on iTunes podcasts, or again, SoundCloud, or pretty much any podcasts out there. Give me a call, 844-LOTPOP, or jump on our website if you want a free inventory evaluation, spend some time digging through your inventory, give you some feedback on what you can do yourself without our services just to improve your operations. So again, I hope this was helpful, and we will talk again soon. See you.